In the vast emptiness of space, a new power was growing. The Galactic Empire, as it called itself, spread across the stars like an unstoppable tide. Planet after planet fell under its rule. Some joined willingly, drawn by promises of advanced technology and protection. Others were forced to submit, their defenses crumbling before the Empire's mighty fleets. At the head of this empire stood Emperor Zaxlor, a being of immense ambition and ruthlessness. His 6 eyes gleamed with the light of conquered worlds, his scaly skin shimmering with an otherworldly glow. From his grand palace on the capital world of Imperius Prime, he directed his forces across the galaxy. "Another system has joined us, Your Majesty," reported Admiral Krell, his tentacles waving in excitement. "The Proxima Centauri colonies have surrendered without a fight." Emperor Zaxlor nodded, a cruel smile spreading across his face. "Excellent. Our power grows with each passing day. Soon, the entire galaxy will bow before us." But far from the Empire's expanding borders, on a small blue planet called Earth, life continued as it always had. Humans went about their daily lives, unaware of the great changes happening in the galaxy around them. They looked up at the stars with wonder, never imagining that those distant points of light were home to vast civilizations and terrible dangers. In a small observatory in Chile, Dr. Maria Rodriguez peered through her telescope, studying a strange anomaly she had noticed. "That's odd," she muttered to herself. "Those stars shouldn't be moving like that." Little did she know, she was witnessing the passage of an Imperial scout ship sent to survey the Sol system for potential conquest. Back on Imperius Prime, Emperor Zaxlor called a meeting of his war council. The grand chamber was filled with beings from 100 different worlds, all united under the Imperial banner. "Our scouts have discovered a new system," the Emperor announced, his voice booming through the hall. "It is primitive, isolated, but rich in resources. We shall bring it into our empire." Admiral Krell raised a tentacle. "Your Majesty, our information suggests this planet, called Earth, has no significant space presence. They will be easy to conquer." The Emperor nodded. "Prepare a small fleet. We will offer them the chance to surrender peacefully. If they refuse," his eyes glinted dangerously, "we will show them the true power of the Galactic Empire." As the Imperial war machine geared up for its next conquest, Earth remained blissfully unaware. In labs and universities around the world, scientists like Dr. Rodriguez puzzled over their strange readings, never imagining the true cause. In Washington, D.C., at a top-secret government facility, General Sarah Thompson frowned at the reports on her desk. "These can't be right," she muttered. "Satellites don't just disappear." But they had. The Empire's advanced ships had already begun dismantling Earth's primitive orbital technology, clearing the way for the main invasion fleet. As the days passed, more strange occurrences were reported around the world. Unusual lights in the sky, electronic systems failing for no apparent reason, animals behaving oddly, as if sensing some approaching danger. In his private study, Dr. Alan Chen, a brilliant physicist, worked frantically on a project he believed could revolutionize Earth's defenses. "It has to work," he said to himself, his eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. "It's our only chance." Little did he know how right he was, for at that very moment, high above the Earth, the Imperial invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace. Dozens of massive ships, each large enough to cast a shadow over an entire city, took up position around the planet. On the bridge of the flagship, Admiral Krell turned to his communication officer. "Send the message," he ordered. "Let's see if these primitives have the sense to surrender." As the Imperial ultimatum was broadcast on every frequency, in every language spoken on Earth, the people of the blue planet faced the greatest crisis in their history. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The galaxy had come knocking, and it demanded an answer. Would Earth submit to the overwhelming might of the Galactic Empire, or would this small, seemingly insignificant planet find a way to resist? The fate of humanity hung in the balance, as the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. waiting to see what would happen next. The world stood still as the Galactic Empire's message echoed across every screen and speaker on Earth. Panic spread like wildfire. In the streets, people looked up at the sky, their faces pale with fear as they saw the massive ships looming above. World leaders scrambled to respond. In an emergency United Nations meeting, heated arguments broke out. "We must surrender," cried one diplomat. "Look at their technology. We don't stand a chance." "Never," shouted another. "We will not bow to these aliens." As chaos reigned, Dr. Alan Chen burst into the meeting room, his lab coat wrinkled and his hair a mess. "Wait," he yelled. "I have something that can help us." All eyes turned to the disheveled scientist. "What is it?" asked the UN Secretary General, hope flickering in her eyes. Dr. Chen held up a small device. "It's a shield generator," he explained breathlessly. "It can create a protective barrier around the entire planet. But I need help to make it work on such a large scale." In orbit, Admiral Krell grew impatient. "They're taking too long to respond," he growled. "Prepare the weapons. We'll give them a small demonstration of our power." One of the Imperial ships fired a beam of energy at the moon. A huge crater appeared, visible from Earth. Gasps of horror rose from the watching crowds. But this act of aggression had an unexpected effect. Instead of cowering in fear, the people of Earth became angry. A wave of determination swept across the planet. In labs and workshops around the world, scientists and engineers worked furiously to build and improve Dr. Chen's shield technology. It was a race against time. Just as Admiral Krell was about to order a full attack, a shimmering blue field suddenly enveloped the Earth. The Admiral's eyes widened in surprise. "Impossible," he exclaimed. The first volley of Imperial weapons splashed harmlessly against the shield. On Earth, cheers erupted from every continent. But the battle was far from over. The Empire unleashed its full might, pounding the shield with increasingly powerful weapons. The barrier flickered and wavered. In the control room of the main shield generator, Dr. Chen worked frantically to keep the system online. "We need more power," he shouted. Around the world, people responded. Power plants diverted all their energy to the shield. In cities, lights went out as every spare watt was channeled into the planet's defense. Even as the shield held, Earth's military forces launched a counterattack. Fighters and missiles streaked into the sky, most being destroyed by the Empire's superior technology. But a few got through, striking the Imperial ships. Admiral Krell couldn't believe his eyes. "How are they doing this?" he raged. "They're supposed to be primitive." The battle raged for hours. The shield weakened, but held. Earth's forces, though outnumbered and outgunned, fought with desperate courage. Finally, to everyone's amazement, the Imperial fleet began to withdraw. Admiral Krell, his tentacles shaking with anger and disbelief, gave the order to retreat. "This isn't over," he promised darkly. As the massive ships disappeared into the depths of space, wild celebrations broke out across Earth. People danced in the streets, hugging strangers and weeping with joy. In the aftermath, the world changed. Countries that had been enemies now worked together, united by their shared victory. Dr. Chen became a global hero, his shield technology hailed as the savior of humanity. But even as they celebrated, Earth's leaders knew this was just the beginning. The Galactic Empire would return, and next time, they would be better prepared. In a secret facility, General Thompson stood before a group of the world's best and brightest. "We've won the first battle," she said gravely, "but a war is coming. We need to be ready." And so, as the Earth continued to spin peacefully in the vast darkness of space, its people began to prepare. The age of Earth's isolation was truly over. They had faced their first galactic challenge, and against all odds, they had prevailed. But the greatest challenges and the greatest adventures still lay ahead. The story of Earth's stand against the Galactic Empire was only just beginning. The grand halls of the Imperial Palace on Imperius Prime echoed with angry shouts. Emperor Zaxlor, his scales dark with rage, glared at the holographic display, showing the defeated fleet limping back to base. How? He roared, his 6 eyes blazing. How could a primitive planet defeat our mighty forces? Admiral Krell, his tentacles drooping in shame, struggled to explain. Your Majesty, they had unexpected defenses, a planetary shield we've never seen before, and their courage, it was extraordinary. The Emperor's tail lashed furiously, knocking over a nearby statue. Unacceptable. I want that planet conquered. I want it destroyed if we must. Prepare a larger fleet. We'll crush this Earth once and for all. As the Empire geared up for another attack, Earth wasn't resting on its laurels. The unified planet buzzed with activity. In every country, factories worked round the clock to build more shield generators and new weapons based on recovered alien technology. Dr. Chen, now heading a global science team, pored over the data from the battle. Look here, he said, pointing to a screen. Their ships emit a unique energy signature. If we can detect it early, we can prepare for their arrival, finished General Thompson, nodding approvingly. Excellent work, Doctor. Months passed. The people of Earth lived in a strange mix of fear and excitement. Schools now taught basic alien biology alongside regular subjects. Kids played humans versus Empire in playgrounds. Everyone wondered when the aliens would return. They didn't have to wait long. One quiet Tuesday afternoon, alarms blared across the planet. The early warning system Dr. Chen had developed lit up like a Christmas tree. A massive Imperial fleet, 3 times the size of the first, dropped out of hyperspace. This time, Earth was ready. As soon as the fleet appeared, the planetary shield snapped into place. But the Empire had learned too. Their ships immediately spread out, attacking from all angles. They're trying to find a weak spot, General Thompson realized, watching the tactical display in the Global Defense Headquarters. The space around Earth turned into a dazzling light show as Imperial weapons fire splashed against the shield. But this time, Earth fought back harder. Missiles streaked from hidden silos on the moon, catching several Imperial ships by surprise. In cities around the world, people huddled in shelters, watching the battle unfold on screens. They cheered every Imperial ship destroyed, their hope growing with each small victory. The battle raged for days. The shield held, but it was weakening. Dr. Chen and his team worked tirelessly, rerouting power, patching weaknesses. Just when it seemed Earth might falter, something unexpected happened. A new fleet appeared, but not Imperial ships. Sleek, strange vessels took up position near Earth. We are the Galactic Alliance, a voice announced on all frequencies. We stand against the Empire's tyranny. Earth, you are not alone. With the Alliance's help, the tide turned. The Imperial fleet, caught between 2 forces, began to crumble. Admiral Krell, watching his ships fall one by one, made a difficult decision. Retreat, he ordered bitterly. Full retreat. As the battered Imperial forces fled, cheers erupted across Earth, and from the Alliance ships. The second invasion had been repelled. In the aftermath, Earth welcomed the Alliance representatives. The meeting hall buzzed with excited chatter as humans and aliens sat together for the first time. You've done the impossible, the Alliance leader, a tall, elegant being named Zora, told the Earth delegation. No one has ever stood up to the Empire like this. We want to offer you membership in our alliance. The Earth leaders exchanged glances. This was a big step. We're honored, the UN Secretary General said carefully. But we've learned we can stand on our own. Perhaps a partnership of equals. Zara smiled, impressed by Earth's confidence. Agreed. Together, we can challenge the Empire's dominance in the galaxy. As the meeting continued, news spread across Earth. Humans looked to the stars with new eyes, no longer afraid, but excited for the adventures to come. In his palace, Emperor Zaxlor received news of the second defeat. His rage was terrible to behold. "This isn't over," he snarled. "Earth will pay for this humiliation. I swear it." The battle was won, but the war was far from over. Earth had gained an ally, but also cemented its place as the Empire's most hated enemy. The next move in this galactic chess game remained to be seen. The news of Earth's second victory against the Galactic Empire spread across the stars like wildfire. On countless worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes whispered in awe about the small blue planet that had done the impossible. In the months that followed, Earth found itself at the center of galactic attention. Spaceships from various alien civilizations appeared in the solar system, not to attack, but to make contact. "Another diplomatic request, General," said Lieutenant Rodriguez, handing over a tablet. "This one's from the Zygon Collective." General Thompson sighed, rubbing her temples. "That's the third one this week. Set up a meeting with the UN Council. We need to figure out how to handle all this attention." Earth's leaders soon realized they had a unique opportunity. Their planet, once isolated and ignorant of galactic affairs, was now seen as a beacon of hope for those oppressed by the Empire. Dr. Chen, still working on improving Earth's defenses, was approached by a group of alien scientists. Their leader, a floating crystalline being named HFY, spoke in a melodious tone. "Your shield technology is remarkable. We wish to learn from you, and in return, we offer our own scientific knowledge." This scene played out across the planet. Alien diplomats met with world leaders. Extraterrestrial merchants set up shops in major cities, introducing humans to goods from across the galaxy. Earth's culture, music, and art began to spread to other worlds, creating a sensation. But with great power came great responsibility. Earth had to navigate a complex web of galactic politics. The UN expanded, becoming the Terran Galactic Council, responsible for Earth's interactions with other worlds. One day, a distress call reached Earth. A small planet named Keela was under attack by Imperial forces. The Council debated long into the night. "We can't just stand by and let this happen," argued the representative from Brazil. "But if we help, we risk bringing the Empire's wrath upon us again," countered her colleague from Japan. In the end, Earth decided to act. A fleet of Earth and Alliance ships, led by General Thompson herself, raced to Keela's aid. The battle was fierce, but Earth's forces emerged victorious, driving back the Imperial attackers. As news of Earth's intervention spread, more planets reached out for help and protection. A coalition began to form, with Earth at its center. The Terran Protected Systems, they called themselves. On a distant world named Xanth, a young alien child looked up at her parent. "Tell me the Earth story again," she pleaded. Her parent smiled, beginning the now familiar tale. "Once, there was a planet so alone in the galaxy, they thought they were the only ones among the stars. Back on Earth, the changes were profound. Hover cars zipped between skyscrapers that now stretched into the clouds. In orbit, a massive space station served as a hub for interstellar travelers. But Earth faced challenges too. Some humans feared the rapid changes, forming groups that protested against alien influence. The government worked hard to balance progress with preserving human culture. Meanwhile, the Empire seethed. Emperor Zaxlor, his once shiny scales now dull with stress, glared at reports of Earth's growing influence. "They've become a disease," he hissed to his advisors, "spreading their ideas of freedom and rebellion across our territory." Admiral Krell, demoted after his failures but still loyal, spoke up. "Perhaps, Your Majesty, we've been approaching this wrong. Instead of brute force, we need subtlety. Spies, saboteurs." The Emperor's eyes gleamed. "Yes, we'll rot them from the inside out." As Earth celebrated its new position in the galaxy, dark forces were already at work. In the shadows of a busy spaceport, a hooded figure passed a data chip to a human conspirator. The Empire's agents were making their moves. Unaware of the looming threat, Earth continued to grow in power and influence. The Terran Protected Systems expanded, offering hope to more worlds. Humans and aliens worked side by side, exploring the mysteries of the universe. Earth had risen from obscurity to become a major galactic player. But with great power came great danger. The next challenge would not come from fleets of warships, but from enemies hidden in plain sight. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire coalition hung in the balance. As the sun set on another busy day in New York's interstellar district, few suspected that the greatest test of Earth's resolve was yet to come. The calm before the storm lasted almost a year. Earth and its allies grew stronger, while the Empire seemed to retreat. But it was all an illusion. On a quiet Sunday morning, alarms blared across the planet. General Thompson burst into the Terran Galactic Council's emergency room, her face grim. "It's happening," she announced. "The Empire is making its move." Screens lit up, showing a massive Imperial fleet emerging from hyperspace. It was larger than anything they'd seen before, thousands of ships blocking out the stars. Emperor Zaxlor's face appeared on screens worldwide. His scales gleamed with malice. "People of Earth," he hissed, "your defiance ends today. Surrender or face total destruction." Earth's leaders exchanged worried glances. This was the moment they had prepared for, but the sheer size of the Imperial force was overwhelming. Dr. Chen spoke up, his voice steady despite the fear in his eyes. "Our shields are stronger than ever. We can hold them off." The UN Secretary General nodded. She turned to the camera, broadcasting to Earth and all its allies. "We will not surrender. Earth stands firm, and we call upon all three worlds to stand with us." As the words left her mouth, the battle began. Imperial ships opened fire, their weapons creating a light show that outshone the sun. Earth's shield flared to life, a blue bubble encasing the planet. But this time, Earth wasn't alone. From behind the moon, the combined fleet of the Terran protected systems emerged. Ships of all shapes and sizes, crewed by humans and aliens alike, moved to engage the Empire. The space around Earth erupted into the largest battle the galaxy had ever seen. Lasers crisscrossed the void. Explosions blossomed like deadly flowers. On Earth's surface, people huddled in shelters, watching the battle unfold on screens. Children clung to their parents. Friends held hands. The fate of their world hung in the balance. In orbit, General Thompson commanded the Allied fleet from her flagship. "Concentrate fire on their left flank," she ordered. "Don't let them surround us." The battle raged for hours. Earth's shield held firm against the onslaught, but the strain was enormous. In his lab, Dr. Chen worked frantically to keep the system stable. "We're pushing it to the limit," he muttered, sweat beading on his forehead. Just when it seemed the Allies might buckle under the Imperial assault, help arrived from an unexpected quarter. A fleet of ships dropped out of hyperspace. It was the Galactic Alliance, coming to Earth's aid. "Sorry we're late," came the message from Admiral Zara. "Got stuck in traffic." The tide of battle turned. Caught between two forces, the Imperial fleet began to falter. Ships exploded by the dozens, then hundreds. On his command ship, Emperor Zaxlor raged at his officers. "How are they beating us? We have superior numbers, superior firepower." Admiral Krell, watching the tactical display, realized the truth. They're fighting for their homes, their freedom. Our forces, they're just following orders. The Emperor's eyes blazed with fury. "Then I'll give them an order they can't ignore. Prepare the planet killer weapon." A massive ship, dwarfing all others, moved into position. A wave of fear swept through the Allied forces as they recognized the threat. "We can't let that weapon fire," General Thompson shouted. "All ships, focus on the planet killer." What followed was the most intense part of the battle. Allied ships threw themselves at the massive Imperial weapon, many sacrificing themselves to buy time. On Earth, Dr. Chen had an idea. If we reversed the shield's polarity at the right moment, we might be able to reflect the weapon's energy back at them. It was a desperate gamble, but they were out of options. As the planet killer prepared to fire, Earth's leaders gave the go-ahead. The weapon released a beam of energy so bright it was visible from the planet's surface. For a heart-stopping moment, it looked like the end. But then, miraculously, the beam hit Earth's shield and bounced back. It struck the Imperial weapon, which exploded in a blast that lit up half the solar system. A cheer went up from every Allied ship and every shelter on Earth. The Empire's greatest weapon was destroyed, and with it, their will to fight. As Imperial ships began to retreat, the realization dawned on everyone. Earth had won. Against all odds, they had faced the full might of the Galactic Empire and emerged victorious. The Great Standoff was over, but its effects would reshape the galaxy forever. The days following the Great Battle were filled with both celebration and somber reflection. While Earth and its allies had won, the cost had been high. Memorial services were held across the planet and on worlds throughout the Terran-protected systems. In the rebuilt United Nations headquarters in New York, now a sprawling complex that housed representatives from 100 alien worlds, the Terran Galactic Council gathered for a crucial meeting. General Thompson, her uniform still bearing scorch marks from the battle, addressed the assembly. "We've won a great victory," she said, her voice echoing in the Grand Hall. "But the Empire is wounded, not destroyed. We must act now, while we have the advantage." Dr. Chen, looking tired but determined, nodded in agreement. "Our technology now surpasses theirs in many areas. We have a window of opportunity, but it won't last forever." The UN Secretary-General stood up, her face resolute. "Then we are agreed. It's time to send our message to the Empire." On Imperius Prime, the capital world of the Galactic Empire, Emperor Zaxlor nursed his wounded pride. His once grand throne room was now filled with nervous advisors and repair droids fixing battle damage. Suddenly, every screen and holographic projector in the palace lit up. The Emperor hissed in surprise as he saw the face of Earth's leader. "Emperor Zaxlor," the Secretary-General began, her voice firm and unwavering. "Your attacks on Earth and its allies have failed. Your greatest weapon lies in ruins. Your fleet is in tatters." The Emperor's scales darkened with rage, but he couldn't look away. "We could push our advantage now. Bring the war to your worlds as you brought it to ours," she continued. "But we are not like you. We do not seek domination." In homes and public squares across the galaxy, billions watched this historic broadcast. "Instead, we offer you this one chance. These are our terms. The Galactic Empire will immediately cease all hostilities against Earth, the Terran-protected systems, and our allies. You will withdraw your forces from the territories you've unjustly occupied." The Secretary-General's eyes narrowed. "And most importantly, you will never again enter the Sol system. Earth and its celestial neighborhood are now off-limits to the Empire. Any Imperial ship or agent found within our borders will be considered an act of war." She leaned forward, her voice carrying the weight of billions of lives. "Let me be clear. This is not a negotiation. This is an ultimatum. You have 48 Earth hours to accept these terms and begin withdrawal. If you do not..." The screen split, showing images of Earth's advanced fleet, shielding technology, and powerful new weapons. "We will have no choice but to bring the full might of Earth and its allies against you. Your empire will fall, not in years, but in days." As the transmission ended, stunned silence fell over Imperius Prime. Emperor Zaxlor's advisors looked to him nervously, awaiting his reaction. For a long moment, the Emperor said nothing. Then, in a voice shaking with suppressed rage, he spoke. "Prepare a response. We will." But before he could finish, Admiral Krell interrupted. "Your Majesty," he said, his tentacles trembling slightly. "I beg you to reconsider. We cannot win this fight. Not anymore." Other advisors, emboldened by Krell's words, joined in. "The people are tired of war," one said. "Many worlds are already talking of rebellion. If we refuse," another added, "we may not have an empire left to defend." Emperor Zaxlor looked around the room. seeing the fear and exhaustion in the eyes of his once loyal subjects. For the first time in his long reign, he felt truly powerless. Back on Earth, the weight was tense. In homes, offices, and spaceports, people of all species held their breath. Would there be peace, or would the galaxy plunge into an even greater war? As the deadline approached, a message arrived from Imperius Prime. With shaking hands, the Secretary General opened it. Her face broke into a smile as she read the first line. The Galactic Empire hereby accepts the terms set forth by Earth and its allies. Cheers erupted across Earth and its allied worlds. In the streets of every major city, humans and aliens alike danced and embraced. The long shadow of the Empire had finally been lifted. But even as they celebrated, Earth's leaders knew their work was far from over. They had reshaped the galaxy, and now they had to help build a new, more just order. The age of Earth's isolation was long gone. Now, the planet that had once been a cosmic backwater stood at the center of a new galactic era. 5 years had passed since the Galactic Empire accepted Earth's terms. The galaxy had changed in ways few could have imagined. On a clear day in New Delhi, now home to the Galactic Council of Free Worlds, representatives from hundreds of planets gathered for the annual assembly. The sky was filled with ships of all shapes and sizes, a testament to the diversity of the new galactic community. Inside the vast council chamber, the UN Secretary General, now serving as Earth's representative, took the podium. Aliens of all species quieted down to listen. Friends, allies, fellow citizens of the galaxy, she began, her voice carrying to every corner of the room. 5 years ago, we stood together against tyranny. Today, we stand together in peace and prosperity. As she spoke, holographic displays showed scenes from across the galaxy, former imperial worlds flourishing under new democratic governments, trade routes bustling with activity, scientific outposts making groundbreaking discoveries. The fall of the empire left a power vacuum. The Secretary General continued, but instead of chaos, we found opportunity. Together, we've built something greater than any single empire could ever be. In the years following the empire's defeat, it had indeed crumbled. Without its iron grip, many worlds had declared independence. Others had joined the Terran-protected systems or the Galactic Alliance. The former empire was now a patchwork of smaller states, each finding its own path. Emperor Zaxlor, once the most feared being in the galaxy, now lived in exile on a small moon, stripped of his power, but allowed to live in peace, a show of mercy that many former imperial subjects found hard to understand. As for Earth, it had become the heart of this new galactic order. The planet that had once been isolated was now a hub of interstellar culture, commerce, and diplomacy. In orbit above Earth, a massive space station served as a port of call for ships from across the galaxy. Humans worked alongside aliens, exchanging ideas and building friendships that spanned light years. On the surface, cities had transformed. Spires of impossible heights reached for the stars, while advanced transportation systems whisked people and goods across the globe in minutes. But it wasn't just Earth that had changed. Humanity had spread to the stars, establishing colonies on Mars, Europa, and even in other solar systems. The spirit of exploration that had once driven humans to cross oceans now drove them to cross the void between stars. Dr. Chen, his hair now gray but his eyes still bright with curiosity, led a team of multi-species scientists at the Galactic Institute of Technology. Their latest project, unlocking the secrets of faster-than-light travel. Imagine, he said to a group of eager students, human and alien alike, being able to cross the galaxy in days instead of years. The Empire hoarded knowledge. We share it. And look how far we've come. General Thompson, now retired from active duty, had taken on a new role as an instructor at the Galactic Peace Academy. She taught tactics, yes, but also diplomacy and conflict resolution. The strongest weapon, she often told her students, is the one you never have to fire. Understanding is the key to peace. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Challenges remained. Some former Imperial loyalists caused trouble in the outer regions. Piracy was an ongoing issue, and there were always new threats lurking in the vast unknown of space. Yet each challenge was met with the same spirit that had allowed Earth to stand up to the Empire in the first place: courage, innovation, and unity. As the Galactic Council session came to a close, the Secretary-General made one final announcement. "We've received a message from the Andromeda Galaxy," she said, causing a stir in the chamber. "It seems we're not alone in the universe after all." A sense of excitement filled the room. A new chapter in galactic history was about to begin, and Earth was ready to face it. Outside the council chamber, on a balcony overlooking the bustling city, two figures stood watching the sunset. One was human, the other a tall, crystalline being. HFY, the alien scientist who had first reached out to Earth years ago. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" the human asked. HFY's crystal body shimmered in the fading light. "No," they replied, their voice musical. "But I'm glad it did. The galaxy is a brighter place with Earth in it." As night fell, the stars came out, no longer distant and unreachable, but familiar friends in a vast, wonderful universe that humanity now called home. The Earth had not just banned an empire. It had helped create a new free galaxy, and its story was far from over.